What's up, guys? Give it 2 seconds to get everybody in here. Seems like there were some issues to get in this morning, so I'm just going to make a quick announcement. Announcements. Not here. Morning. Notice that EU is going long because I'm long already. Yeah, well, I mean, we're in the spot that we would go long. Just got to make sure the criteria is met. That's the main thing, right? So, but yeah, I mean, this is if there's a place to go long on EU, it's going to be here. Yeah, the link for whatever reason still says processing. I just had a quick look at it, man, and yeah, it should be good to go now. It's just, yeah, these things happen, man. It's stuff that's out of my control, unfortunately. But yeah, thanks for letting me know. I'm on it. Just checked it, pulled up YouTube, and yeah, I just had an issue processing overnight. It happens from time to time and seems to be working now. Okay. Yeah, so right now, this is where things, yeah, they get interesting, right? And don't get me wrong, I'm gonna be looking for longs in here. Definitely gonna be looking for longs. Now, what makes this, obviously a little bit more difficult to trade long is that we haven't broken structure yet, which is not a huge deal. We've broken excuse me, substructure, and we've kind of tapered back down in. We've created liquidity. We've swept back down into the POI. And if you get onto the 15, in demand, and then we jump down onto the 15-minute. You can see that, like, right now we're reacting to that little refined zone that we were sort of talking about. I think this is a couple days ago now, but this little flip in here. This is just that little pause in the market beforehand. Now, I don't know that this is going to give us a crazy amount of relevance. It's just a matter of fact that we're tapping into this specific little piece right here. What I would say now is it's very simple, actually. Like, ideally, we would want to see some sort of a 15-minute chalk, right, on a refined POI. We've already got the chalk. We've come back down to the extreme. So your entries were sort of in here, and I probably just missed them, to be honest with you. And that's the way it goes sometimes. So then you can have sort of your refined guys, yeah, just kind of tapering off like this, which would be your wick would be what we would take here, right? And with that being said, you could just go like this and then jump down onto sort of your seconds and take something from there, right? So to me, the best trade available would have been, okay, so we've basically chalked right here, right? Sorry, you've chalked right here. But you can kind of look at probably more of your 1 minute and say, yeah, hold on, man, hold on. I would say, like, really your chalk kind of happened. Oh man, yeah, on the seconds, it would be this guy right here is probably what I would see as the chalk. So you can see this pull down, push back up. We got the flip within the flip right here, right? Reaction point. This probably would have been your entry. That doesn't really matter right now. Let's look at what the next play is, right? Like, that's really what we're after here. And I would say the next play reasonably should be something along the lines of, like getting held up here, right? Getting held up here, coming back down, pushing through, getting order flow to realign, and then taking this into all the liquidity that rests in here. So now that we've tried, like basically we've ticked all the boxes, right? For our technically this would be now we've allowed this to get back into a trend. We're arguing that trend has changed here, right? So trend has changed, come back down, and then order flow has realigned for us, giving this some validity into a potential for weak highs. And I would say that your target for something like this would be very, very simple. I mean, you would take a good portion of your profits off at this sort of supply region right here, because in all fairness, if you look, we've chalked up and you've chalked down. We could see some turbulence around here. We could very easily come right back down. And then you could take the next bit of your profits off at this level right here. And then ultimately you could hold the rest, right? So yeah, good PA this morning. Finally, something lining up that looks kind of half decent. Now it's just a matter of how it's going to play out, right? So, excuse me. Yeah, so I would be watching, like if you think that you missed the boat, you didn't miss the boat. Why this 15-minute POI? Which one? We've been talking about a bunch. The one that I have marked here. All I'm saying is that we're reacting to it. I'm not sitting there like looking at a limit or anything like that. What I'm trying to express here is that if you go to the 15-minute, you can just see that this is the, and again, there's like a sell to buy somewhere sitting within this little candle right here. It's not quite an inside bar or anything like that, but you can see that this is sort of like the last little very, very small interaction we had with this supply level. So all I'm saying is that there's something probably on a lower time frame that sits within here. I'm not using this as a refined POI. What I'm using is essentially this entire 1 hour, right? The 1 hour block is what I'm using to really kind of understand what's going on. And you can see that very, very clearly here. We had the 1 hour block, we had the sweep into the 1 hour block, and then I delivered criteria from that. So if we have a 1 hour POI, we had the change of character, we've come back down and mitigated the extreme that causes the change of character or the order flow shift. This is the better place to obviously jump into the market. So yeah, any questions? Everybody understand? I mean, very, very simple this morning. We're just waiting. Like, I mean, we've got beautiful, 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 beautiful freaking price sitting right here. Well, right here, what I'm looking at is that this order flow has shifted based on supply giving out, right? This little supply is on this up move right here. What did this tap into? Hold on here. Put this across. Yeah. We could argue that you're like, yeah, your first failed supply, and you can see that there's a little take on liquidity right here. I would say that your chalk is right here. Up, chalk down. Structurally, it would be here. Now, the problem with waiting for the structure to have a structure shift is by the time we hit this, like we're done. We're done, right? So relevant structure, very, very simple. Relevant structure right now for us is from here to here, right? If like, so if you're looking and relevant structure, all this means is like, how are you looking to trade, right? How are you looking to trade this entire thing? And the bottom line with this is if you're looking at the structural leg that we're sitting within right now, the bigger structural leg on the 15-minute time frame, this is the leg that we're in, right? If you are looking at this as a structural leg right here, right? We've pushed through it, we've come back down, we've mitigated the extreme, and then we're shifting character. We're ideally looking to take out these structure points, right? So depending on how you're looking at the actual market and how short-term and how long-term your structure is going to shift a little wee bit. For a sell to be valid, the next supply POI, we have to see a 15-minute order flow shift, 100%, 100%. We would need to see a 15-minute order flow shift in here. Cool. So like I said, we're at an interesting spot because technically, like in order to see a true like structure shift or a substructure shift, we would need to see this guy sort of give way and then come back down into here and then take this up into highs, right? Which could mean that we could liquidate this low again, right? So just be mindful of the fact that like this is a interesting POI that's resting right above liquidity. We'll probably see some turbulence around there. We could sharply come back down. But the bottom line is in the overall overview of the market right now is that, okay, well, we've tapped into our 1 hour demand zone. We've had the V-shaped recovery. We've come down to mitigate. It looks like we're having some issues around the top portion here. And now we just wait, right? We're going to look for some confluences. Now, what I don't necessarily like about this specific price right now is that like you can see that we've swept in, but if we sweep in, the idea would be that we should break right out, right? So I'm thinking that we might take another run at this low. And to be honest with you, we're fighting higher time frame order flow, right? Like this is the structure point that we failed to break. We have all kinds of liquidity available to take, but I think that more than likely we could see a run on this low again before kind of coming up. Do you think today's news can affect the PA heavily? I haven't looked at the news yet. Let's just have a quick peek here. Let's go to Forex Factory. CPI. Well, CPI has been known to shake things up. So yeah, I would say that it would be reasonable to say that it could shake things up a little bit. It's a red folder. I don't know if today's, I always go to the FTMO calendar. I'd like to check that. Come on. And mine's not loading for some reason. So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to, it's going to have some effect. So I have to kind of factor that in as well. So yeah, on news days, it's usually best to sort of let the dust settle for 15, 20 minutes kind of thing and let price do what it wants to do, because usually it's going to want to take as much of the available liquidity as possible in one direction and then kind of catapult into the other. So yeah, you would be naive to think that it wouldn't have an effect, in my opinion. So it's just a matter of watching and seeing how heavily it does affect it. So I'm going to leave you guys like this. Yeah, have a good session this morning. Just be mindful of where we're sitting in price. Be mindful of the fact that we haven't taken out this structure point yet. Be mindful of the fact that we've had in my opinion, we've had a V-shaped recovery. However, it's not broken a structure point, right? Like there's all kinds of liquidity sitting here. Chances are we might see a pop up, sweep back down, and then maybe take a run at it. I'm not going to get interested in this play up until we see some sort of a push into here, break above, tap back in, and then I'll possibly get interested in something like this. But yeah, I need more confirmations as it sits right now. All right, that's it. That's all. Like I said, just remember, you are definitely fighting the higher time frame order flow. We're betting against it, right? So we need to see further confirmations to just really, really kind of confirm. If you got in down here, fantastic. If you haven't gotten in yet, wait for the further confirmations. There's going to be all kinds of ways to get into this. Yeah, don't rush it.